Following Raquel Levis's romance with her colleague, Rachel Uchitel, the ex-mistress of Tiger Woods, has blasted Vanderpump Rules fans for vilifying the reality star. In a special conversation with the U.S. Sun, Rachel discussed her new podcast Misunderstood and how she tackled sandoval with Thursday's guest, country music icon Jana Kramer. After gaining notoriety 14 years ago for an alleged affair with Tiger Woods, Rachel offered her perspective on the Vanderpump Rules cheating story. "I don't sympathize with Raquel, but I understand what she is feeling," she said to the U.S. Sun. "I understand how it feels to be the center of attention, talking about you like a bad guy, and to have people getting offended by what she did. By no means am I discounting what she did. Furthermore, our circumstances are dissimilar. However, given how far society has progressed in the past 14 years, I find it shocking that individuals continue to vent their frustrations on women. The idea that individuals have such a right to be upset, allowing women to be mistreated and avoided," the gorgeous single mother continued. She added that she thinks there is a bright side to Raquel's circumstances, despite the negative reaction from the public. "Let's be honest, their numbers are rising, but they shouldn't have done this unless they didn't expect to get caught. After all, they live in a world of reality TV shows. They will receive higher remuneration since they are in greater demand than before. There is a bright side to this." Raquel and fellow cast member Tom Sandoval, who dated her friend Ariana Madix for 10 years, are entangled in an infidelity scandal. Having spent more than 10 years living under the shadow of a cheating scandal, Rachel is all too familiar with the public narrative that surrounds them. Her latest decision to create a podcast titled Misunderstood is centered around people and stories she feels are similar to her own. Rachel revealed to the U.S. Sun that she had an unexpected friendship with Jana Kramer, an NFL player who has been vocal about her own pain stemming from an alleged affair in her marriage to her ex-husband. "I've always liked Jana. We've stayed in touch ever since I did her podcast a while back. We have both experienced problems with love addiction in the past." Jana and Rachel wanted to analyze the Vanderpump Rules controversy together, according to Rachel. "We wanted to discuss it amongst us from the viewpoints of two separate persons. We both agreed that a lot of individuals were finding it to be triggering. So I think that we found that it was interesting that so many people in the storyline have been triggered, and that's where a lot of anger has come from. And that was something that we found, was something that was a direct reflection from our stories." According to Rachel, Jana wasn't too fond of her when she first appeared on her podcast because "I was someone who triggered anger and hurt. She truly apologized to me after our podcast conversation as she understood that I hadn't harmed her personally." In the court of public opinion, Rachel declared, "Someone has to be a monster. It must be a victim of someone. Individuals enjoy picking sides. People tend to overlook the harm that is done to the individuals involved. People have to stop blaming me and blame the right person," Rachel stated, following a more than 10-year period of silence following her adultery scandal with Tiger Woods during his marriage to Ellen Nordegren, which garnered global attention. "My head is no longer buried in the sand. I don't need to keep apologizing," she said she had come to realize. "I don't have to feel guilty about it, and I am aware of how awful it is for many people to be walking around with their heads down and feeling ashamed. That's how I felt for 14 years, and it bothers me. That's why I thought, well, I better get started." That, according to Rachel, is how the Misunderstood podcast idea came to be. She has an amazing lineup of guests so far, including Jana, Dr. Drew, and reporters Perez Hilton and Dax Holt. She mentioned that she was working on an episode featuring Mama June and Sarma Melmgalis, the subject of the horrific Netflix documentary Bad Vegan.